this hot summer also we can feel. At this time, we are finding that many are interested in learning mathematics. That is wonderful. And that shows their aptitude and attitude. So we welcome all the participants once again. As you are very eagerly waiting to learn mathematics, I will just give a quick run through our institution. That is Alpha College of Engineering. So if you find Alpha College of Engineering, so first about myself.
Your voice is little
ma'am,
bit
can
not.
you? It's not
Yes,
clear, ma'am.
Now it is better, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Dr. B. Soumya, Principal of Alpha College of Engineering. I have more than 25 years of experience in the field of academics and research. Our college, it is located in lush green environment in Tirumalizai, Chennai, which is near Punnamalli. And this college is established in the year 2006 with an area of 65 acres. The built-up area of our college is 12 acres. Our college is approved by AICTE and affiliated to Anna University. For its standard, the college has been certified by ISO, that ISO 9001-2015 certification we got for our standard. And we offer 5 UG programs, both in Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Technology. 4 programs under Bachelor of Engineering, that is Biomedical Engineering, Computer Science and Engineering, Electronics and Communication Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and 1 program under the BTech stream, that is Information Technology. We offer 1 PG program, that is Master of Business Administration. The goal of our institute is to make the student best in the chosen field. So though whatever level their entry is, when they go out of our college, we want them to be the best engineers. For that, we have these student assisting unit. One is career development cell, another one is entrepreneurship development cell, and business English certification training cell. SysMem training also we offer. Then we have tied up with PALS, that is an IIT initiative, that is Pan IIT Leadership Series. So if you see the career development cell, the main aim of our career development cell is to give the aptitude training to the student and their interpersonal skills, that is being done by make work in an environment where there is a team effort. So they need not have aptitude alone, but they have to work as a team as well. For that, we improve their interpersonal skills as well. Then we give them soft skills training, those who lack the communication skills. This soft skill training unit is helping them do that. So with all these things, we develop the overall personality of our students so that they can face the job market and their career would be settled. That is, for that sake, we have all these things. Then entrepreneurship development cell. We don't want our students just to be a job seeker. We want them to be a job provider as well. So for that, we have been tying up with NSIC, MSME, EDA, NEN, and Enactus. These are all prestigious institutions which do provide entrepreneurship programs. Orientation sessions are being given. We help the students to do the startup, and those startup projects we do evaluate and help them to get their funding from government and other agencies. That is what this entrepreneurship development cell is made for. So all their ventures, whether it is small scale or other thing, we help them with their projects as well as their funding. Then business English certification, we do know that this is from Cambridge University in UK. So this is an internationally benchmarked certification. So 4 basic skills of English, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing skills. We do train them on all 4 skills. Totally, we improve their communication skills. Ultimately, language, whatever you know, you have to convey that. So for that, we need the language. So that will be helping you in employment as well. Then we have got 4 Center of Excellence. That is Cisco, CCNA certification. That is a networking certification. When you do it outside, each level will cost you nearly 20,000. Totally 5 such levels are there in CCNA certification. So each level we offer free of cost for all our students. So we train them for CCNA certification, and at the end of the training, they will be taking up the test with Cisco, and that would be conducted in our lab itself. Students will be getting the certification from Cisco, that is for networking. This is primarily meant for CSE students, ECE students, and IT students. And other students who are interested in taking up the networking certification are also welcome to take up this. Then we have got Autodesk Inventor certification. This is specifically meant for mechanical students. So with Autodesk, they learn CAD, CAM, all those programming. So Autodesk Inventor certification will be provided by Autodesk. And again, this is free of cost. Then we have got Oracle, Java programming, and R programming certification. All are being offered by Oracle Academy. These courses, again, we give the training and encourage our students to take up the test. So once they clear the test, they will be given the certification by Oracle Academy. Then big data analytics, for getting that, you know that data analytics is the order of the day. So Dell EMC is we are partnering with and offering this certification and training with them. So all these center of excellences offer their programs free of cost. So training will be given free of cost and certification will be given by the respective agency. And IIT, every student who wants to become an engineer, the dream is to join IIT, that we very well know. But what happens is due to their number of seats, they may not get their aspiration fulfilled. So for that, we want to have them gist of what is happening in IIT. For that, we have tied up with Pan IIT Leadership Series, which is initiative of IIT. So there, if you see, they offer residential workshops. So we send our students for residential workshops at IIT Madras. Then they arrange industrial visits, seminars from prominent persons from IIT and the other leading industries are being arranged in our campus. And they do conduct project competition. Our students do participate in those project competition and they do win prizes. So this residential workshop, entire week, they will be spending there at IIT itself. So they will come to know what is happening in IIT. They will be communicating with the IIT professors as well. And SwissMem certification. There are two precision engineering countries in the world. One is Germany, another one is Switzerland. So for giving the precision engineering and to be a master in engineering, we are giving the students SwissMem certification on machine learning and mechatronics. So SwissMem is the leading technical association for engineering industries in Switzerland. We have tied up with them. Under them, we are offering this machine learning and mechatronics course. So you would have felt the need for mechatronics and machine learning during this pandemic period. As you know, robots can work as nurses. Humanoids can perform the things wherever people cannot go. So as such, what we need right now is, one moment. As we know right now, what we are offering is this machine learning and mechatronics will help the students. Mechatronics as robotics, if you see, wherever human cannot reach, the robots can reach. Now we have to maintain the social distance. So for that, instead of nurses and doctors putting themselves under risk, we can send the humanoids. That is one part. And machine learning, once you create a robot, what we need is, we have to give that intelligence. So that artificial intelligence can be given only through machine learning. So machine learning also we offer our students. So machine learning is giving the humanoids the intelligence which they don't possess. So this is not only applicable for this situation, anywhere, if it is a nuclear power plant or any other places as well, the students have to, where men cannot go, these humanoids can go. So that is the advantage of this machine learning and mechatronics. We give this certification for our students so that they'll be in a position to build a robot and give that intelligence as well. Apart from that, we give SkillRack online courses for our students. This is for improving their programming skills as well as problem solving skills. So when finally after finishing their degree, they have to attend competitive exams. So for that, this kind of online courses do help the students. So if you consider this will be of value to the students. So they will be doing their problem solving and programming online. All of our students are being offered these SkillRack courses. And apart from that, I want to project our college achievements. If you do consider Alpha College of Engineering stood at 40th rank among top 100 engineering colleges in India. This has been given by Silicon India. Then our student Malavika Nair, she took gold medal and university rank from our Honorable Governor Banwarilal Purohit. So that means in Anna University, among all the colleges, she took the first rank. And we got the Teaching Excellence Award in the year 2019 from Education Matters. So this is the photograph of that. Then our college achievements, if you do see university ranks, we consistently produce and we get gold medals as well. And our students and staff, they do get AICT projects, ISRO projects, and Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology projects. So these are funded projects. So if you have got an innovative idea, you can present your projects to government agencies. They will be funding the project. So under their funding, we can do the projects. And seminars also we have conducted at funding from the government. Then we provide industrial training to all our students and internship in leading industries. So that includes the international internship as well. 2 of our students had got to Taipei University for doing their internship. Consistently, we have achieved 100% placement, and our students have received awards for the projects as well, mainly for prosthetic limb by a biomedical student. That is Shushruta Award has been given to him. And we encourage our students for higher studies, not only in India, in abroad as well. So many of the European countries and Canada and US, our students are doing their higher studies. And we have got excellent sports facilities with spacious grounds. We have got football ground, 2 cricket grounds, everything we have. So our students have won medals, gold medals in zonal level as well as the state level. One of the students has been selected for national level championship for Wushu. So she will be doing that in Jalandhar. And what we offer the students, we give entire tuition fee waiver for SC/ST students. Then postgraduate students, we give a concession of 25,000. Other than that, for students who have merit, their MPC marks is above 65% and 75% and 90%. We have these labs. For them, we offer scholarship, merit scholarship. So this will not only be for the first year, it will be offered for the final year or till final years, all 4 years. And this learning environment, if you do consider, we have well-trained, dedicated, friendly faculty members. So you can interact with the faculty member whenever you have doubts. They will be helping you out with all your problems. So that is how our faculty are. They are so friendly that you can easily ask them your doubts and get it clarified. And our non-teaching staff are also well-behaved and they are very polite. So this is an amicable learning environment, what we find in Alpha. So Alpha College of Engineering, if you consider that, it would be a home away from home. So I welcome all the students to join our college. So this would be a pleasant experience and you would be having a home away from home, that is for sure. So at this pandemic time, what I do want to give you is stay home, stay informed and stay safe. That is what we want. So thank you all. Sujata, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. Now I request Tamilselvi ma'am to start the session for day 2 on differential calculus. And before that, I would like to inform all the participants that I have shared the link for attendance form for today. And please fill up the attendance form because many of you didn't fill up yesterday itself. So only if the attendance is filled and assessment is done, you will be eligible for the e-certification. The assessment link will be shared at the end of the session. And one more thing is, Tamilselvi ma'am has already mailed you the assignment questions. Some of them have completed. So others also, please do the assignments and submit it to ma'am through mail ID. Thank you, students. Over to you, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Tamilselvi ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. So welcome back and good morning, students. I'm very happy that some of you have responded for the assignment questions. So this shows that you are very much interested in learning mathematics. So that is a good sign. So rest of you also can submit even today or tomorrow. So today also I'll be giving some more assignments. So whenever you have doubt, you can contact me through the mail ID. I will certainly reply to you. So all those assignments I have received, I'll be correcting, and then I'll be sending them back to you. So some more problems, or what type of problems you want, or what type of assignments you need, you can let me know. So I will send those things, and then I will always be constantly in touch with you. Okay. So now today we shall continue whatever we have studied yesterday. So first we shall have the recap. Okay. So then recap, and then we will introduce, we will reintroduce the derivative and some developments, and we will see the rules of differentiation with some examples. And finally, we will look into the formulae, and we will conclude with problems for practice. So, so today's session will be more technical. So just be alert, because all the points, whatever we are going to discuss today, are all very important. Okay. So now just a recap. So we have this is the symbolic representation. 1 second. Sujata ma'am. Hello, Sujata ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
ma'am, something is on the screen. Can you see that? No.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So now symbolic representations. So various symbols are, so yesterday we have seen, that is the definition is dy by dx. So that is nothing but limit delta x tending to 0, delta y by delta x. And then the slope, actually what is the slope? It is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. That slope is called as dy by dx. So now we shall redefine what is mathematical definition of differentiation. Now you can see this graph. So in this graph, so we want to find out the slope. Okay. So slope is nothing but the inclination of any curve at a particular point on the x-axis, that is the initial axis. So which we call it as tan theta. So tan theta is a slope. So when you use tan theta, formula for tan theta, it is opposite side by hypotenuse. So that is delta y by delta x. So now what do you mean by slope? It is change in y divided by change in x. That is nothing but delta y by delta x. That is a small change. First we are looking into. So that is delta y by delta x. Now x changes from x to x plus delta x. Y changes from f of x to f of x plus delta x. Isn't it? So x is from x changes, that is from the point x, it moves to point x plus delta x. So on the real line, that is on the x-axis. And similarly on the y-axis, see actually it is nothing but y is nothing but f of x. So we know that. So any curve, we represent it as y is equal to f of x. So now y changes from f of x, this point to this point. That is a small change we want to find. So y changes from f of x to f of x plus delta x. So now, so you use this in the slope, delta y by delta x. So normally, how will you find the change? Change means the f of x plus delta x minus f of x. That is during the early days itself, you know how to calculate the change. That is the difference. So f of x plus delta x minus f of x, that is the change of in y, and then delta x is the change in x plus delta x. Okay, so that is delta x. So now then allow delta x to 0. That is limit delta x tending to 0. See here we are actually considering considerable small change, small delta x. Okay. So now if you can see the real numbers, can you tell what is the next number to 0? What is the next number to 0 in real numbers? Can anybody tell me? What is the next number after 0? 1. Sudhakaran? Yes. Anybody else? So I already told you that it is real numbers. Real numbers means the set of all numbers whatever we are using in our daily life. That is, the height is given to be 6.5 like that. So that means the floating number or the value number with the decimal points, and then rational, irrational, everything constitutes in real numbers. So after 0, if you say it is 1, we are looking into only just the set of integers. Okay. So somebody else given the Sudhakaran himself has given the answer 0.000. So what is that 000? It is again 0 only. Okay. See, after many zeros you have to put 1. So if you say 0.00001, then I can give you the number before that by adding one more 0 after the point. So which implies us that real numbers are very dense in nature. That is why we cannot write what is the real number after 0. So that means this infinitesimally small. Okay, small means we are trying to say that we are jumping to the next point. So after 0, we want to jump to the next point. So that is why allow your limit delta x tending to 0. It is only tending to 0. See, since we cannot mention what is the actual real number after 0, that is why we say that it is tending to 0. That is, it is nearing to 0. Okay. So now that gives you the definition of dy by dx. So now dy by dx is limit delta x tending to 0, f of x plus delta x minus f of x by delta x. Now I suppose you won't forget this definition. So this is the basic definition. See, you would have studied in +1 and +2 what are the formulae, that is x power n means n into x power n minus 1, and what is derivative of sin x, that is cos x, derivative of cos x is minus sin x, everything. So all the formulae given to you, everything came from this definition only. Okay, so that also we are going to see today how all the formulae has come out. So now again we shall say to ourselves, that is, what is the definition of derivative? Dy by dx is equal to limit delta x tending to 0, f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. Okay, so next. So now derivative, what is the meaning of derivative? So derivative in many contexts we say, that is, the derivative of x squared is 2x. So what do you mean by that? At every point we are changing by a speed of 2x, that is the average speed, twice the current x position. Now the derivative is 44. You see, already we told that we learned that dy by dx is a value, that is the derivative. So derivative is 44 means at our current location our rate of change is 44. That is, now mathematically you can say that when f of x is equal to x squared, at x is equal to 20, we are changing. No, actually it is 2. No, it should be 2. X is equal to 2, we are changing at 4. So the derivative is dx may refer to the tiny hypothetical jump to the next position. Now technically, see, people confuse themselves with differential and derivative. So there are two different things. Dx is the differential, but derivative of x is not differential. Okay, so let us see the difference between these two things. Differential and derivative. So differential is denoted as dx, and derivative is nothing but dy by dx. Okay, so differential is a subfield of calculus, that is differential calculus, that refers to infinitesimal difference in some varying quantity. That is why we are denoting it as dx. So even dy we can denote. So dy means that is infinitesimal difference in the quantity y. Next, what is the derivative? Derivative of the function is the rate of change of the output value with respect to the input value. So the rate means we are finding dy by dx, that is the rate. So that is that infinitesimal small change of y with respect to x. So that is the derivative, which means derivative is a value at a given point. Now, differential represents an equation that contains a function and one or more derivatives of that function. Okay, see, differential equation you would have heard, that is d squared y by dx squared plus 3 dy by dx plus 4y equal to something f sin x, like that. So that is differential represents, it is an equation that contains a function and one or more derivatives of that function. So dy equal to 2 dx, that is a differential equation. Derivative represents the instantaneous change in the dependent variable with respect to its independent variable. So now we can see that y is a dependent variable. So that is its instantaneous change of y with respect to x. So that is dy by dx. Then the third difference is the function which represents the relationship between the dependent and the independent variables is unknown. So the function will be unknown here, because see, if you have dy by dx plus y equal to 0, so we have to find out what is that y equal to f of x. So that is how you would have referred to the ordinary differential equation. So dy by dx plus y equal to 4 means we don't know what is the function, because it is mere a differential equation. But the function which represents the relationship between the variables is known as derivative. Okay, so dy by dx, so you know specifically what is dy by dx. Of course, that is another function what we have observed in the yesterday's video. That is dy by dx, if you find, suppose if you have x cubed, and what is the derivative of x cubed? It is 3x squared. So 3x squared also, yes, Aditya Gujral, raised your hands. So what do you want? Aditya?
Ma'am, you please continue, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, because he has raised his hand, so that's it. Okay, so so now we have seen what are the differences between different. Okay, so now I think you're clear about both the things. So wherever you want to write dy by dx, you should not write it simply dx. Okay. Now, continuous and differentiable functions. So what are they? Now,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Harikannan is having a question. Derivative and differential in Tamil once. He wants you to explain in Tamil the difference between derivative and differential.
Okay, ma'am. Principal, ma'am. Ma'am. Ma'am is there?
Ma'am, you please go ahead, ma'am. No problem, ma'am.
Okay,
because,
yes,
okay,
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Yeah. So, இப்போ வந்து differentialன்றது வந்து actually I'm sorry, I'm not technical word எனக்கு என்னன்னு தெரியல. differentialனா இப்போ வந்து xன்ற ஒரு வேரியபிள் இருக்கு, அதுல வந்து நம்ம ஸ்மால் சேஞ்ச் எடுக்கிறோம்னு வெச்சுக்கோ, dxன்னு, அது வந்து அந்த xல இருக்கிற நெக்ஸ்ட் ஜம்ப் dx. அதாவது x வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட், சப்போஸ் இப்போ எப்படின்னாக்கா நம்ம நடக்கிறோம், நம்ம நடந்துட்டு இருக்கும் போது அதாவது எத்தனை ஸ்டெப் வச்சு நம்ம நடக்கிறோம், அதாவது நம்மளோட ஸ்பீட் என்ன அப்படின்றது நம்ம கால்குலேட் பண்றோம், சரியா? அப்போ அது வந்து எவ்வளவு ஸ்பீட்னா என்ன, ரேட் ஆஃப் சேஞ்ச் ஆஃப் dy, that is velocity is nothing but rate of change of the distance between with respect to time. அப்ப நம்ம வந்து எந்த அளவுக்கு நடந்திருக்குமோ அது வந்து நம்மளோட டெரிவேட்டிவ். இப்போ dxன்றது ஹோல் அது இப்ப நம்ம வந்து ஃபுல்லாவே நடந்து முடிச்சிட்டோம், ஒரு 1 hour நம்ம நடந்திருக்கோம் அப்படின்னாக்கா நம்மளோட ஃபுல் இது வந்து எப்படி நம்ம ஸ்டெப் எடுத்து வச்சோம், தட் இஸ் dx, சரியா? அப்ப டிஃபரன்ஷியல்ன்றது அது வந்து ஒரு ஈக்குவேஷன் தான், அது நம்மளுக்கு வேல்யூன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. இது வந்து dxன்றது ஹோல் ஃபங்க்ஷனோட என்ன வந்து சேஞ்ச் நடக்குது அதாவது dxன்றது. ஆனா dy by dxன்றது ரெண்டு வேரியபிள் நமக்கு தேவை. இப்போ இந்த சேஞ்ச வந்து y-க்கும் நம்ம பாத்துக்கலாம், x-க்கும் பார்க்கலாம். இப்போ x-உம் மாறிட்டு இருக்கு, y-யும் மாறிட்டு இருக்குது. சரியா? அப்போ இந்த தனித்தனியா நம்ம பார்க்கும்போது அது வந்து dy dx அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்றோம். y ல இருக்கிற சேஞ்ச dy சொல்றோம், x ல இருக்கிற சேஞ்ச வந்து dx ன்னு சொல்றோம். இப்போ dy by dxன்றது வந்து நமக்கு வந்து ஒரு வேல்யூ. சோ அப்போ என்ன, அதாவது அந்த வேல்யூக்கு இப்போ வந்து பிரைஸ், ஐ மீன் இப்போ வந்து டெம்பரேச்சர், இப்போ டெம்பரேச்சர் ஏறிட்டே இருக்குது. சோ இப்போ வந்து டெம்பரேச்சர் வந்து டேஸ் ஏறிட்டே இருக்குது. அப்போ வாட் இஸ் த ரேட் ஆஃப் டெம்பரேச்சர் பிட்வீன் எஸ்டர்டே அண்ட் டுடே? ஓகே, அது வந்து டெரிவேட்டிவ். ஸோ dy by dx. அதுக்கப்புறம் இப்போ வந்து டிஃபரன்ஷியல்ன்றது ஆல்வேஸ் இட் இஸ் அ ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆஃப் ஒன் ஆர் மோர் டெரிவேட்டிவ்ஸ். அதான் நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, d ஸ்கொயர்ட் y by dx ஸ்கொயர்ட் பிளஸ் 3dy by dx. அதாவது அந்த இடத்துல வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஆக்சுவலா ஃபங்க்ஷனே என்னன்னு நம்மளுக்கு தெரியாது. அதாவது இப்போ டெரிவேட்டிவ் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு நம்மளுக்கு y ஈக்குவல் டு சம்திங் வேணும், ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன். இப்போ வந்து நம்ம வந்து ஒரு க்ரோசரி ஷாப்புக்கு போறோம். இப்போ க்ரோசரி ஷாப்புக்கு போறோம்னா நம்ம நிறைய க்ரோசரிஸ் வாங்குறோம். ஸோ ஒவ்வொன்றும் வாங்கும் போது ஒவ்வொன்று விலை. ஓகே, அப்போ வந்து அங்க வந்து ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து இருக்குது. y வந்து இப்போ நம்மளோட நேம் ஆஃப் க்ரோசரிஸ் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டொமைன்ல போட்டோம்னாக்கா கோடொமைன்ல வந்து நம்ம அதோட ரேட்டை போடுவோம். ஸோ அப்போ அங்க வந்து ஃபங்க்ஷன் y ஈக்குவல் டு f of x, அதாவது ஒன்னும் ஒரு வேற வேற மாதிரி இருக்குது. அப்போ ஒரு க்ரோசரி ஐட்டம் நம்பர் 1 will be of this one. So f of x1 will be some 10 rupees. Then f of x2, அதாவது x2ன்றது செகண்ட் ஐட்டம் in the grocery shop. அப்போ f of x2 equal to that one. So இப்படி எல்லாம் மொத்தமா சேர்ந்தா அது ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகுது. சரியா? சோ அப்ப f of x y equal to f of x அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்றோம். இப்ப நம்மளுக்கு என்ன தேவை, அதாவது ஆவரேஜா நம்மளோட ரேட் என்ன, அதாவது ஒவ்வொரு ஐட்டமும் எந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து நம்ம வாங்கியிருக்கிறோம் அப்படின்றது dy by dx. Then the function which represents the relationship between the dependent and the independent variables is unknown. இங்க வந்து எப்படின்னாக்கா அதான் அந்த டிஃபரன்ஷியல்ன்றது வந்து dx dy அது ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் ஒரு ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் இருக்கும். அந்த இடத்துல கிளியரா என்ன ஃபங்க்ஷன் நம்மளால வந்து சொல்ல முடியாது. ஆனா இந்த இடத்துல வந்து dy by dx அப்படி நம்மளால கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும். ஓகே, I think
like can we take one more example, ma'am? Like corona cases in the month of May அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம்னா மேம், how do you take it as differential and derivative, ma'am?
Yes ma'am,
that will be an easy example to students நினைக்கிறேன்.
Yes, கரோனான்றது வந்து இப்போ வந்து ஆக்சுவலி ஐ வாஸ் மார்னிங் வந்து நான் ஒரு கிராஃப் ஒன்னு போடணும்னு நான் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். ஆக்சுவலி we have இப்போ மே மந்த் மார்ச்ல நம்மளுக்கு வந்து ஜனவரி மிட்ல வந்தது. சோ அப்பதான் வந்து பீக் ஜாஸ்தி ஆச்சு. இப்ப நம்ம இன்னைக்கு வரலாம் நம்ம கலெக்ட் பண்ணோம்னாக்கா இப்ப அத வந்து இப்ப டே 1 ஐ திங்க் ஐ கேன் ஷேர் தட் ஒன். அந்த கலெக்ஷன்
you can
yeah one second, let me share that.
Others also you can just keep posting your questions in the meantime. Chidambaram, I have noted down your question. I will ask once ma'am comes back.
Yes.
Ma'am, if it is there, you share it.
Yeah. I am having that. that.
Yeah.
Yes. See, this is actually I was working with this data. So I am having this data from 30th January till 26th March. Okay, so this is every day wise data we are having. So it is a comparative study between India and China. Okay, so now rate for India, we have found out the rate. So rate of increase, that is rate of increase, that is confirmed cases. See, the 31st January, it was only one was affected, and February 1st again one was affected. Then second, 2 was affected. So the rate is actually it is only increasing by 1 or 1.5 like that. So this is the rate. This is the derivative rate of increase. Okay. So now if I want to find out what is the whole period, that is from February to March. So I have some values. Now, if I plot this point in a graph, I will get a curve. So y is day wise. Okay. So y equal to f of x. Now, the whole function, so for this period of function, we'll be having dy as a whole. That is, what is the whole average rate of increase, increase in the data. Okay. Then similarly, if you want to compare between rate of increase and rate of death, so death rate and increase rate. So now you can take it as increase as y and death rate as x. So like that. So you can find a relationship between these two things, and then so the whole function, that is for a period. So for a period of 30 or 35 days, if you will be getting a functional equation. So for that, you have dy is the whole infinitesimal change, and dx is also the whole infinitesimal change in the x alone. Okay, but derivative is how the change occurs one with respect to the other. Is it clear? So dy, that is a dy by dx. So dy is different, dx is different. When you want to find the relation between these two, relation means it is nothing but dy by dx. That is how one changes with respect to the other. So that is the derivative. I think I'm clear. Am I clear?
Is it clear, Harikannan? Purinjidappa, Harikannan?
Purinjidamma? Is it that to solve? Yes, of course. Chidambaram, yes. It is we need derivatives. Amama, differential equations solve pannona, you should know you need derivatives. Yes. Okay, Harikannan. Okay, no. Okay. So we'll go back to that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is differential versus derivative. Now we have seen that. Then, so now this is very important. Continuous and differentiable functions. So is all continuous function are differentiable and vice versa. That is what we are going to see now. So given that f of x is differentiable at a point x equal to c, then f of x is also continuous at x is equal to c. That is, if one particular point it is continuous means it should be continuous at all the point. Okay. If f of x is differentiable, then f of x must be continuous. Otherwise, it cannot be differentiable. Okay. If there is a discontinuity, we cannot differentiate that because it should be continuous at all the point. Now, if f of x is not continuous, then f of x is not differentiable. So, no continuous function can be differentiated. So, all continuous function can be differentiable. All continuous function are differentiable. Now, example, f of x equal to mod x. Mod x, whether it is, we have to check whether it is continuous and differentiable also. Okay. So now, this is a function, continuous function, but not differentiable. Yesterday, I raised this question, is f of x is equal to mod x a continuous function? Is it so? Is it continuous? Anybody tried? F of x is equal to mod x. I didn't give it as an assignment, but while showing the PPT, I asked that question. Okay. Anyway, we shall see whether it is continuous and differentiable. Okay. So now let us check f of x is equal to mod x. So for this to be continuous, we should show that limit x tending to 0 mod x has to be 0. Okay. So now let us redefine this function. Yesterday itself I told you that what is mod x, what is the meaning of mod x. So f of x will be taking a small x if x is greater than or equal to 0. Now this is a real line, minus infinity to plus infinity. Now 0 separates divides this real line into two, positive and negative. Okay, so now yeah, Sudhakaran, see what you have studied is mod x. So he is raising a question that we can use both mod positive and negative. That is that actually was what was learnt in school. But actually, when you come to the function, you should be very clear that what is this mod x is nothing but a function. It is called as absolute value function. Okay, so f of x. See, if you say simply mod x, what will be the value for minus 4? It is, of course, it is plus 4 according to your concept. And what will be the value of f of 4? That also is 4. Okay, so that means so it is it is not correct. But mod x is f of x is equal to small x if x is greater than or equal to 0, and it will take minus x if x is less than 0. Okay, so this is called as absolute value function. So this is how you have to define your function. So limit x tending to 0 plus mod x. So 0 plus mod x means limit x tending to 0 plus x. 0 plus means it is coming from the positive side. So from the positive side means x is greater than or equal to 0. So that means the value is simply x. So when x tending to 0, it is actually 0 only. So put x equal to 0. And limit x tending to 0 minus, that is, it is approaching from the negative side. So limit x tending to 0 minus means it is minus x. So minus x also is 0 because 0 is neither positive nor negative. Therefore, limit x tending to 0 mod x, actually it is 0, which is of course equal to f of 0. Now if you put f of 0, what is f of 0? It is simply 0. Modulus of 0 is nothing but 0. Okay, hence f of x is equal to mod x is a continuous function. So are you clear now? So f of x is equal to mod x is a continuous function. Okay. Now, yes, of course, Sudhakaran, you're correct. He is asking whether we will get V-shaped graphs. Yes, I will show you the graph also. Okay. So now, next we shall see whether it is differentiable or not. Can you guess whether it will be differentiable or not? Can anybody guess? Okay, fine. So we will see whether it is differentiable function or not. So it is differentiable. Adanoli, yes, you are saying it is differentiable. Okay, let us check whether it is differentiable or not. Okay, so now let us see. So to show that f of x, now we have to we will check. When we check, it becomes not differentiable. So we will see how it is. If a function is continuous, it need not be differentiable. Please understand that. So yeah, now we know the definition. At the particular point 0, we want to see whether this exists. What is that? F of 0 plus h minus f of 0 divided by h, where h is a very, very small quantity. Okay. So observe that limit h tending to 0, 0 plus h minus mod 0 by h. So that is limit h tending to 0 modulus of h by h, isn't it? So now what is modulus of h? It takes greater than 0. So it takes 1 if it is greater than 0. It takes minus 1 if h is less than 0. Okay. So now, so that means 1 and minus 1. So mod h by h is, so when both the things it should happen. So the limit from the right is 1 while the limit from the left is minus 1. Okay, so the two-sided limit does not exist. That is, the derivative does not exist at x is equal to 0. I told you the limit function, the limit definition is from the left-hand side and the right-hand side, both should be equal, and it should be a finite quantity. So then only you can say that it is the limit exists. If the limit does not exist, then the derivative does not exist. Okay, so is it clear now? So mod x function, it is not differentiable. I'll show you the graph. See, this is y equal to mod x. Okay. So now at all the other points, of course, see, it may be differentiable or not, but at x is equal to 0, it is not differentiable. Okay. So that is why y equal to mod x is, of course, it is a continuous function because you can draw this graph without taking the pen out of your paper. But when you want to check whether it is differentiable or not, we saw that it is not differentiable because limit does not exist at 0. Is it clear? Okay. Now some more functions which are continuous but not differentiable. See, the cube root function x power 1 by 3, its derivative. So what is the derivative? It is a power rule, n into x power n minus 1. So n is 1 by 3, 1 by 3 x to the power of 1 by 3 minus 1, that is minus 2 by 3. Okay. So at x equal to 0, the derivative is undefined because x power minus x power minus 2 by 3. Okay. So x power minus 2 by 3 means it is 1 by x to the power of 2 by 3. So 1 by x power 2 by 3, where whenever x is in the denominator, if you put 0, it becomes infinity. Okay. So x power 1 by 3, the function f of x is equal to x power 1 by 3. Though it is a continuous function, it is not differentiable. Okay. Is only 1 by 3 or all 1 by n? See, there is a question. See, often we have to ask questions to ourselves whether this is so. Then only your thinking capacity increases. That is, see, we have given a particular example 1 by 3. Now, let us take this is in general n, 1 by n. Okay. So when you apply the power rule, 1 by n x to the power of 1 by n minus 1. So we want 1 by n minus 1 to be negative, then only we can say that it is not differentiable. So if it has to be negative, 1 by n must be less than 1. That is, n should be greater than 1. Whenever n is greater than 1, x power 1 by n is not differentiable. Because when you differentiate, that x value will go to the denominator, and when you put x equal to 0 in the denominator, it becomes infinity. Okay, it is very simple. So that is why x power 1 by 3 is not, we cannot find derivative at x equal to 0. So another function is 1 by x at x equal to 0. The function is not defined at all, because so there is no sense in asking whether it is differentiable or not, because when x equal to 0, it goes to infinity. Okay, so that is why 1 by x is it is not differentiable function. Okay. Now, so what are the development, how can we develop a derivative? Okay. So now look at this example. See, y equal to x squared. So what we said, there is a small jump in both the cases, delta y and delta x. So y should change from y to y plus delta y. X should change from x to x plus delta x. So replace both on both sides. So y plus delta y equal to x plus delta x the whole square. So now on the right hand side, you expand. This is a plus b the whole square. So always differential calculus field uses algebra. So you should be very sound in your algebra also. So x squared plus 2x delta x plus delta x the whole square. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Then so actually we y plus delta y, isn't it, equal to this one. So what is the next step? So delta y equal to 2x delta x plus delta x the whole square. Why? Because see here y equal to x squared. So if you substitute y equal to x squared, this x squared and this x squared cancels. Then delta y equal to only these two values on the right hand side. So 2x delta x plus delta x the whole squared. So now divide throughout by delta x. So that is what we want. Delta y by delta x is equal to 2x plus delta x. Now what is dy by dx? By definition, it is allowing delta x to 0. So delta y by delta x. Delta x, when you allow this to 0, you have 2x. So now I think you can understand the power rule. So what is dy by dx? 2x, isn't it? Okay. So this is how derivative has been developed from algebra. Okay. So now another example, approximate. Now this is another way of finding the derivative, but it is only approximate value. Okay. But actually this is useful only at a particular point. So y equal to x squared at x equal to 1, find the approximate derivative by making small changes. So y at 1, Actually, it is 1 square, right? That is 1 because put x equal to 1, 1 square 1. Now increase a little bit, 1.01. You can even go for 1.001 or 1.0001 on any number you can go. So 1.01, that is equal to 1.01 the whole square, that becomes 1.0201. Okay, but actually, so let us first think what is dy by dx. It is 2x. At x is equal to 1, you should get 2. Okay, so now we are doing that by jumping into small points. Okay, so y of 1.01 is equal to 1.01 the whole square, that is 1.0201. Now delta y is what is delta y? The difference between y at 1.01 minus y at 1. Okay, 1.0201 minus 1, that is 0.0201, that is delta y. So dy by dx is approximately equal to delta y by delta x. That is 0.0201 by 0.01, that is 2.01. So I told you only approximate value we can find. So 2.01, when you round it off, it becomes 2. Is it clear? So only at x equal to 1 we are finding approximate value. Okay, this is another way. This was the first. Actually, numerically we can find out the derivative. So this was the first way people developed a derivative. Okay, so this is one example. And next, of course, this is the power rule. So we want to actually, I can see that even after coming to third year engineering, students doesn't know what is 3. Immediately they cannot say 3x power 5 means. So what we have to do, this 5 you have to multiply with the left hand side coefficient of x power 5, 5 into 3, 15, and then reduce 1 from the power, that is 15x power 5. So that is why the power rule is being explained. Then how will you find out the derivative of a polynomial functions? See, differentiate 3x squared plus 4x minus 1 with respect to x. So by the way, what is a polynomial function? Polynomial function is any function which is written as the reducing powers of x with real coefficients. Okay, real or integer coefficients. So that is that is a x power n plus a naught x power n plus a1 x power n minus 1, like that. So that is a polynomial. So 3x squared plus 4x minus 1, the highest degree, the highest power of x will give you the degree of the polynomial. Yeah, good. Hari Kannan, 6x plus 4x. 6x plus, it is not 6x plus 4x, it is only 6x plus 4 is the polynomial. Okay, again 6x plus 4x means it is only 10x. That is also a polynomial. But you need not write it as 6x plus 4x. Okay, but 10x, of course, all the constant also. See, if you simply write 1, that also is a polynomial because the degree is 0. Because you can write 1 into x power 0. Okay, so this is, now let us see how will you differentiate. So here, hiddenly we are explaining the linearity property of differentiation, that is derivative. How? So if you want to find out continuous all terms, you can find the derivative of each term separately. Okay, so y equal to this, dy by dx is d by dx of 3x squared plus d by dx of 4x. This is the additional property. Okay, plus d by dx of minus 1. So then, now if you have a constant multiplied with the variable, you can take that constant outside. Okay, so that is 3 you can take outside, d of x squared by dx plus 4, this constant you take outside, 4 into d of x by dx plus any constant will have a derivative of 0 because a constant function, the slope will be 0. Okay, for all the constant function, y equal to z means dy by dx will always be 0. So now what is d of x squared? That is d by dx of x squared is 2x. Now d by dx of x is simply 1. So 4 into 1 plus 0. So that is, what is the answer now? 6x plus 4. So 6x plus 4. Yes, sir. This is the example what Ari Kannan and Adhanoli gave. 6x plus 4. Okay. Then one more example. 5x cube minus 8x squared plus 6x plus 9 with respect to x. So this also goes in the same way. 5 you can take outside, d of x cube by dx plus minus 8. Okay, minus 8. Why we have written plus here? Because actually additional, there is only, it is called additional property, and after next step you can remove this bracket by the multiplication rule. Okay, plus minus 8 into d of x squared by dx plus 6 into d of x by dx. So 5 into x cube 3x squared minus 8 into 2x plus 6 plus 0. Then of course you have to simplify. 15x squared minus 16x plus 6. So this is how you have to find the derivative of the polynomial function. Okay. Then derivative of composite functions. So yesterday somebody asked what is a composite function. Actually composite function, one example we can think of that what I told you now is the grocery shop. So in the grocery shop we want to buy many items, that is say 10 items, so that will be one domain. Then how much quantity, so the when you bring the bill, so there will be 3 columns. So first column will have the groceries items what you bought, second column is the quantity, and third column is the price. So each one will have will be mapped into some quantity. So the quantity is B and the price will be C. So A, B, C. Okay. So this is a composition of functions. So now if you have composite functions, if you have y as f of theta and theta as g of x, theta will be a function of something else, then dy, how will you find out the derivative for this? Dy by dx is equal to dy by d theta into d theta by dx. So first you differentiate y with respect to theta, and then differentiate theta with respect to x, and then multiply both. So then you will find the derivative. You can find the derivative of composite function. Then chain rule. I think this is an example of an English movie called Inception, isn't it? So I hope everybody would have watched this movie. So in this movie, the hero actually he has got the capacity to go into a dream of any person. He will be having some technological tool in that. So like this, you get dream into a dream, so into another dream. That is, if I get a dream, I will have one more dream in my dream. So how to come out? So that is why when we this is the example of chain rule. Okay, how will you differentiate whether you are in the third dream or fourth dream? So you have to differentiate that. So first you have to come out of the whole dream, and then you have to imagine what is the first dream, what is the second dream, and then like that. So now let us see what is the definition of chain rule. So chain rule is d by dx of f of x the whole power n. So some function, actually it itself the whole raising to the power of n. So first you have to differentiate the whole function with your power rule. N into f of x, whatever be this inside, that is 3x plus 3, or sin x the whole cube, like that. So sin x means first you have to 3 into sin x the whole square. So n into f of x the whole power n minus 1 into, you have to find the derivative of this inner function. Okay, so f dash of x. So that means d by dx of f of g of x is equal to f dash of g of x into g dash of x. So there are two types, that is whole power n you can have, or function of function you can have. So both, this is the formula. This is chain rule. Now next, so we'll see some examples. So of chain rule, log of sin x. So how will you differentiate log of sin x? So first you differentiate log x. So log x is 1 by x. So here in the place of x you have sin x. So 1 by sin x. Then d by dx of this sin x. So d by dx of sin x. So what is d by dx of sin x? That is cos x by sin x. So answer is cot x. Okay. Then derivative of okay. So if y equal to f of theta and x equal to g of theta, that is both are functions of the same variable. See, two different variables, y, x, and both are functions of the same variable. So then how will you find out the rate of change of y with respect to x? Because both dependent on another variable. That is the same independent variable. So dy by dx can be written as dy by d theta divided by dx by d theta. But when you divide by dx by d theta, the dx by d theta should not be equal to 0, because it may turn up to infinity. If it is equal to 0, the answer will be infinity. That is not acceptable. So dy by d theta divided by dx by d theta. Now this you can simply write dy by d theta into the reciprocal of the denominator, d theta by dx. Okay, so now one example. Now this is a parabola. So y squared equal to 4ax. So now the parametric form you should know. I hope you know x is equal to at squared, y equal to 2at. This is the parametric form of the parabola. Y squared equal to 4ax. So x is equal to at squared, y equal to 2at. Now how will you find out dy by dx? So that is the question. So first you find dx by dt, that is differentiate x with respect to t, that is equal to 2at. Then differentiate y with respect to t, that is dy by dt, that is 2a. So dy by dx will be dy by dt into dt by dx. So that is 2a into 1 by 2at, that is 1 by t. So this is how you will be finding out the derivative of a parametric functions. Okay. So next. Okay, so now see, there is a small video. It only actually this. So this is a this explains the product rule. That is, if you have two functions, how will you differentiate the product of two functions? Okay, so it is just 5 minutes. So watch this. We will see what is a product. Sorry, I'm sorry. This.
Ma'am, is there any audio?
Ma'am?
Ma'am, is there any audio for this, ma'am?
Yeah, audio is not coming.
Not heard, ma'am.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, 1 second, ma'am. 1 second, 1 second.
This will cause G to change by a tiny amount, which we will call dG. This will also cause H to change by a tiny amount, which we will call dH.
So this is a rectangle. So there is a change in all the sides. So h of x, you are making a small change. Okay.
As x increases by the amount dx, the area of the rectangle will increase by approximately the area of these two green rectangles. The area of this green rectangle is dg multiplied by h. The area of this other green rectangle is dH multiplied by G.
So this is a side. Now h of x into dh of x derivative, that is the small change in h of x. Similarly here also g of x into d times the derivative, that is the small change in g of x. So what is the area of this rectangle? You have to add both.
The sum of these two areas is therefore dg multiplied by h plus dh multiplied by g. This sum is the amount by which y changes, which we will call dy. Therefore, if y equals g multiplied by h, then when we increase x by dx, the amount by which y increases, which we call dy, is equal to dg multiplied by h plus dh multiplied by g.
Okay, so you have understood this. So this is the product rule. Now let us see clearly what is the product rule. So the derivative of product of functions is not the product of the derivatives. Okay, that is if f and g are both differentiable. So we first of all we have to see that it is differentiable. If one is not differentiable, that is if you have one function as mod x, you cannot find derivative. So d by dx of f of x into g of x is equal to, so normally we tend to write it as f dash of x into g dash of x. No, it is not so, because we have seen in the video that is it is nothing but the change in f of x into the original function g of x, and the change of g of x into the original function f of x, and the sum of these two only will be the product rule. Okay, so derivative of product of two functions is the first function times the derivative of the second function plus the second function times the derivative of the first function. This actually you would have remembered the formula like this: d by dx of uv equal to bu dash plus ub dash. Okay, so just so now you should not forget what is the product rules. Whenever you find the derivative of e power x into sin x, immediately you have to apply this rule, or x into e power x. So there also you will be applying this rule only. Okay, so now what is the quotient rule? So there is a problem with the quotient rule with from the students, because they won't remember. See, in the product rule we have plus. That is, see, it is very simple. First, you can even write this as uv dash plus vu dash. So there are two functions. You keep one function as constant, then other function differentiate, that you multiply, then put a plus, the other function you keep it as a constant, then you differentiate another function, then you multiply both. So this is in product rule you should get it is the sum of these two terms. Now in quotient rule we shall derive this quotient rule from the product rule itself, then you will remember the answer. See, d of u by v, that is the quotient rule. Okay, so how will you write this? V, you can take it to the numerator with the inverse sign, u v inverse. Now apply product rule for this. That is, you keep you keep this first function u as it is, then differentiate the second one, d by dx of v inverse, plus next you keep v inverse constant and then differentiate the first function d by dx of u. Okay, now after differentiating v inverse, what you will be getting? Minus, that is power rule, n into x power n minus 1, that is minus v whole power minus 1 minus 1, that is minus 2. So u into minus v power minus 2 into dv by dx. See, this v is a function of x, isn't it? That is the composite function of function rule. So v means dv by dx plus v inverse into simply du by dx. Okay. So now this you simplify. So minus u by v squared. So that this minus you are taking outside, u, b power minus 2 is taken as v squared into dv by dx plus v inverse, you write it as 1 by v into du by dx. So now let us see the answer. So after simplification, you get v squared. V squared is a common denominator, and then this v, actually you multiply here with v, that is LCM. So if your LCM is v squared, you have to multiply the second term by v, and the first term you take as it is. So v into du by dx minus the first term u into dv by dx. So this is the quotient rule. So to remember, yeah, we can, if you are interested, you can remember like this also. So keep this numerator as high and denominator as low. Okay, so low into derivative of high minus high into derivative of low all over the square of what's below. So this is a simple thing to remember. So that is why you can write f by g of whole dash, it is low into the derivative of high, that is f dash, minus. So in the quotient rule, you should have a minus sign. Don't put it as plus. So you should have a minus sign. Okay, g into f dash minus high, that is numerator, into derivative of low. Derivative of low, that is denominator, derivative of denominator, divided by the square of what is below. Square of what is below. So this is the quotient rule. Okay. So now let us see some examples. So quotient rule, if you want to find out the derivative of 1 plus x squared by 1 minus x squared, so how will you just apply the rule? Okay, so don't jump into like memory, that is don't calculate anything in your memory. So just step by step you go, then only you won't make any mistakes. So now in the denominator you will be writing 1 minus x squared the whole square, and the denominator into the derivative of numerator minus numerator into the derivative of denominator, that is minus 2x. So after that you have to simplify. Okay, 2x is common, take it outside. 1 minus x squared, then minus, already there is a minus sign here. So minus into minus plus 1 plus x squared. So by 1 minus x squared the whole square. So minus x squared and plus x squared gets cancelled. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 4x by 1 minus x squared the whole square. Okay, so this is how you have to differentiate the function. Then another example for your understanding, it is also very simple. That is f of 2 minus 3x, you keep it as f of x. 2 plus 3x, you keep it as g of x. So it is g of x into derivative of f of x minus f of x into derivative of g of x. So divided by g of x the whole square. So to the derivative of 2 minus 3x is 0 minus 3. Then derivative of 2 plus 3x is 0 plus 3. So which simplifies into minus 12 by 2 plus 3x the whole square. Okay, it is very simple. So here afterwards you should not make any mistake. So chain rule. So how will you, one example we can see for chain rule, 3x plus 3 whole cube. That is, it is a function of function rule. So first one f of x is there, and then it is been raised to the power of 3. So first apply the power rule for the whole function. Okay, so otherwise you can take it as t. If you are for you to make it very simple, take t is equal to 3x plus 3. Then y will be t cube. So first find out dt by dx. Okay, t equal to 3x plus 3, dt by dx will be 3. Then dy by dt, that is 3t square. So using the chain rule, you can arrive the value. Dy by dx is dy by dt into dt by dx. So what is dy by dx? 3t squared into 3, that is equal to 9t squared. Now go back and substitute in the original variable. Always, you see, this change of variable we are doing inside the calculation. So when you are giving the answer, you have to go give the answer only in terms of x. If it is you are giving in t, then it is not accepted. Okay, so for that, that is replace with t as Wherever there is t, you replace it 3x plus 3. So 9 into 3x plus 3 the whole square, that is equal to 9 into 3 into x plus 1, 3 into x plus 1, that is 81 into x plus 1 the whole square. Okay. So this is how you have to apply the chain rule. Then see, very important. Often we tend to forget the formula. So my advice is, whenever you derive all the formula once, then you will never forget in your life what is the answer. Okay. So that is what I'm going to show you for some 3 functions. So f of x is equal to sin x. See, this you can, this you will say sin x means cos x, e for x means e for x. So log x means, what is the derivative of log x? Anybody? What is the derivative of log x?
1 by x.
Very good. Super. So log x is 1 by x. Now, you know how it has come? Have you ever derived and checked whether it is correct? So ask always yourself whether it is correct. Why should be, it should be 1 by x? Why not it is 1 by x squared? When I differentiate 1 by x, I'm getting minus 1 by x squared. When I differentiate log x, why should not I get minus 1 by x squared? Why it is 1 by x? Okay. Then when I differentiate sin x, I'm getting cos x. I was told that it is cos x. But when I differentiate cos x, I was told that it is minus sin x. Why can't be the other way? Okay. So sin x can be minus cos x and cos x can be plus sin x. Why can't it be the other way? So these kind of questions you have to ask yourself. So then only you will know how these formula has been arrived. They are not God given, first of all. Okay. So the human brain, like us only, they have invented all these formulae. Newton is a human. He is not a God. So only when the problem came, he arrived some solution. Okay. So now let us see how we have to, before that, I want to show you some results. So we will be using this result, limit sin h by h is equal to 1. Okay. So this actually, limit h tending to 0, sin h by h equal to 1, we can, to find this limit, we have many ways. That is, sin h by h, you just give, when h tending to 0 means from 0 or from 1, you can give, go on increasing the value, and then you just approximately say it is 1. That is also one way. Okay. Or this way also you can do. But here the problem is we have used the derivative of sin x. Okay. So that is why I told you the first way, because that is a very simple way. I don't want to give you that, show you that here, because I want you to practice for that. So how will you do it? Sin h by h. See, h tending to 0 means you start with 0.0, that is, you just start with 0.5. Okay, then reduce 0.005, 0.0005, like that. Or even 1, 0.001, 3 decimal points you keep. So keep a table and then h sin h by h. So approximately it will end up to 1. Okay, so that is how you have to work out. So many methods you can find the limits h tending to 0 sin h by h. Okay, or even you can use L'Hospital's rule also. So that we are not going deep into limits. So that is why I'm not showing all those things here. So L'Hospital's rules also you can find, and then find the limit h tending to 0. So limit h tending to 0 sin h by h is equal to 1. Similarly, limit h tending to 0 cos h minus 1 by h will be 0. Okay. So these are some results. Now we shall see how will you find out the derivative of sin x. So we are going to take only the basic definition. That is limit h tending to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x. Actually, f of x plus h I have expanded. Okay, f of x plus h means sin of x plus h. That is sin of a plus b. Sin of a plus b. See, for you have to be thorough with algebraic formula and trigonometric formula if you want to understand derivatives. Okay. So sin of x plus h, that is sin of a plus b formula, sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. So sin x cos h plus cos x sin h minus sin x divided by h. Now, so what happens? Sin x cos h, so bring this minus sin x here, plus cos x sin h, then take the sin x from these both terms outside, that is a common term. Then inside the bracket, you have cos h minus 1 plus cos x into sin h divided by h. So this limit h tending to 0 sin x into cos h minus 1 by h plus limit, that is, you are taking this limit inside. Okay. So now limit h tending to 0 means here cos 0 is, what is cos 0? What is cos 0? What is the value of cos 0? What is the value of cos 0?
1.
Very
1.
good. Subbu, good. So everybody is confident. Good. So cos 0 is 1, 1 minus 1. So this first term will vanish. Then you have only the second term. So limit h tending to 0, cos 0, here you will put 1, and limit you can multiply. Limit h tending to 0 cos x into limit h tending to 0 sin h by h. Okay, so limit h tending to 0 sin h by h is nothing but 1, just now we have seen. So the answer is cos x. So now you can understand why there is no minus sign in the derivative of sin x. Okay, but when you find the antiderivative, that is integral, you have a minus sign. Okay, that we will see the next week, how the integral of sin x becomes minus cos x. Okay, so then similarly you can find the derivative of cos x. Okay, so you should get minus sin x. So just try out. Then derivative of e power x. So d by dx is e power x is the basic definition, limit h tending to 0 e power x plus h minus e power x by h. Okay. Now a power m into a power n, this is a base, when the bases are same, you can add a power m plus m. So that is why, but here you are separating e power x into e power h. Now e power x is common in both the things, both the terms. So e power x you are taking outside, e power h minus 1 by h. So that is limit h tending to 0 e power x. So e power x, it is independent of h. So you are bringing it outside, and limit h tending to 0 e power h minus 1 by h. So that is actually e power 0. E power 0, actually this also, when x tending to 0, this becomes 1. Okay, this also it is a result, you can check. So d by dx of e power x is nothing but e power x. Okay. Then log x. So log x is, so log of x plus h, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. See, we are using h instead of delta x. See, both are allowed because delta x somewhat inconvenient and it will give you a messy look in the paper. So that is why many authors use h. So log of x plus h, x tending to 0 minus log x divided by h. So now you just divide, that is log a minus log b will be log a by b. So log of x plus h divided by x. So separate these two terms, x by x plus h by x. X by x is 1 plus h by x. And denominator, you just multiply and divide by x. X into h by x. Because we want this value in the denominator to use this value, this limit. Actually, this is also one result. Limit u tending to x tending to 0, 1 plus x whole power 1 by x. That will always be e. That is a definition of e. Okay, 1 by x log limit 1 plus u whole power 1 by u. U tending to 0 means it is log e. So 1 by x log e. So what is log e? Log e to base e, that is 1. Okay. So log x is 1 by x. So this is how you have gone. Okay. Now one example for product rule. So u equal to x squared, v equal to sin x. Keep that, and u dv plus v du. So x squared cos x plus 2x sin x. So all these things, it is very simple. Now, yeah, again, this is one on this. I don't know why. Okay. So now some more examples. So differentiate the following functions. So actually, it is y equal to x power 4. So x power 4 means it is 4x power 4 minus 1, that is 4x cubed. Then even in the rational number in the power also, you can use the same rule. That is minus 5 by 3, x power minus 5 by 3 minus 1. That is equal to minus 5 by 3, x power minus 4 by 3. Then y equal to cot 2x, dy by dx is minus 2 cot x. So the cot x, the derivative is cosecant minus cosecant squared x. Okay, so first you will write minus cosecant squared 2x into the derivative of 2x, that is 2. So it is a function of function rule. Now y equal to sine squared x, this is also equal to, so first you function of function, so 2 sine x, that is apply the power rule for sine x, 2 sine x and differentiate sine x, that is cos x. So 2 sine a cos a is sine 2a. Then y equal to log sine x. So function of function rule, so log of sine x is 1 by x, so that we have seen cot x. Then y equal to log x squared, so dy by dx is, so log of x squared is 1 by x squared and derivative of x squared is 2x. So that is 2 by x. Then sine inverse of 2x, so this is 2 by root of 1 minus 2x the whole squared. Okay, the 1 minus 2, that is you have derivative. I will show you the formula for inverse function also. So sine inverse of x is 1 by root of 1 minus x squared into the derivative of 2x, that is multiplied into. Then cot inverse of 5x. So the formula for cot inverse of x is minus 1 by 1 plus x squared. So for tan inverse of x is 1 plus 1 by 1 plus x squared, whereas cot inverse of x will be minus 1 by 1 plus x squared. So into the derivative of 5. So y equal to e power 2x, that also you know, y equal to 3 power 2x. So that is 3 power 2x is, first you have to find out this actually this is a see, you just try out this 10th problem. Okay, so then if you don't know, you just mail me, I will give you the solution. Okay, so now these are the set of formulae. So x power n is n into x power n minus 1. Then simply for x is 1, for constant it is 0, constant time x is k. Then 1 by x is minus 1 by x squared, root x is 1 by 2 root x, e power x is e power x, e power ax is a e power ax, e power ax plus b is a e power ax plus b, that is, we multiply only the coefficient of x, not the constant. Then e power minus x squared is function of function rule, e power minus x squared into minus 2x. And a power x is a power x into log a. So all these formulae you have to check with the basic definition. So if you arrive, you will feel some happiness. So that happiness will make your memory very strong. So if u equal to f of x, v equal to f of x, then d by dx of k. So k, now we are taking two function of x. So ku equal to k into du by dx, u plus or minus v, that is the additive linearity property. Then product rule, parametric form, and then function of function. So these are the formulae. Then exponential and trigonometric. So log x is 1 by x, log x to the base a is 1 by x log a log e to the base a. Actually here it is base 10. Okay, here it is a natural logarithm. So for sin x it is cos x it is minus sin x. Then tan x is secant square x, cot x is minus cosecant square x, secant x is secant x tan x, cosecant x is minus cosecant x cot x. Then inverse trigonometric function. So for sin x is, as I told you, 1 by root of 1 minus x squared. So whenever you have a denominator, you don't forget to put this condition, x is not equal to plus or minus 1. Then cos inverse of x minus 1 by root of 1 minus x squared, x is not equal to plus or minus 1. So d by dx is tan inverse of x is equal to 1 by 1 plus x squared. So x squared should not be equal to minus 1. Actually, we are not giving the condition here. Why? Can anybody tell me? See, these two things we have given the condition that we have checked whether the denominator, we have taken care the denominator should not be 0. But for these two functions, why? Because see, when x is equal to minus 1, x squared will be plus 1, so it will not be 0. And only there will be a problem only if x squared equal to minus 1. But we are if x squared equal to minus 1, what will be the value of x? It will be imaginary. But we are dealing only with real numbers. So we are not going for complex numbers. So these things are all only for real numbers we are giving the formula. So there is no question about 1 plus x squared becoming 0. Okay. So for all the real values, it will never be 0. So that is why there is no condition. Then cot inverse of x is minus 1 by 1 plus x squared. and secant inverse of x is 1 by mod x root of x squared minus 1. Here x should not be not equal to plus or minus 1. Okay. And 0 also. If it is 0, it becomes imaginary. So cosecant inverse x is minus 1 by mod x root of x squared minus 1. So these are the formulae for inverse trigonometric function. Now, actually, this application I'm not, I thought of not giving only small light on that, because see, actually these are the portions, almost 90% of the portions in engineering mathematics 1 in the first unit I have covered. So only left is maxima and minima, Rolle's theorem, mean value theorem. So that is why I didn't want to touch, but still I want to conclude with some application, so I have taken this. So local maximum and minimum. So this is the application of derivative. So let y equal to f of x be a function defined on a closed interval a comma b. So maximum, local maximum minima is nothing but the value of a function at a point c belongs to a comma b. So value in the immediate neighborhood. In the immediate neighborhood of x equal to c. So now it actually at a particular point, if you are finding the maximum value, then it is called local maximum and minimum. It is not a global value. That is, it is not does not mean the greatest or absolute maximum for the function itself. It is only here we are going to find only at a particular point c whether the function is maximum or minimum. So a function may have a number of local maxima or local minima in a given interval. The local minimum may be greater than a relative maximum. Then, what is local maximum? A function f of x said to attain a local maximum at x equal to a if there exists a neighborhood a minus delta. Delta is a very small quantity. Suppose if I am having a to be 2, then delta will be 0.000001. That is 2 minus 0.00001. So a minus delta and a plus delta. This is the neighborhood we say. Neighborhood means just a nearing value. Neighbor, who is our neighbor? The next door. So that means who is the neighbor of a? The next point. Since we are unable to find out what is the next, unable to write down what is the next point, you are writing it as delta. Okay. So a minus delta, comma a plus delta of c such that f of x should be less than f of a. So for every x, that is, see, you are taking this interval a minus delta, comma a plus delta. In this interval, there are many points. Many points are there. All those points, f of a should be the greater one. Okay, then f of a is called the local maximum. Only in this interval it is called maximum. Okay, so now f of x minus or f of x minus f of a should be less than 0. That is, it should be a negative quantity. So in such a case, f of a is called to attain a local maximum value of f of x at x equal to a. So local minimum is f of x should be greater than f of a for every x in this neighborhood. That is, f of a has to be the least value. Then you call f of a is the, that point is the minimum point. Local minimum value of f of x at x equal to a. Okay. So this is local maximum, local minimum. And then now we shall see what are the rules of differentiation. So just put it in a nutshell. So we have seen f of g old dash equal to, that is the product rule and quotient rule, and then composite function of function rule. So you just say, I must remember the rules. You have to remember the rules. There is no other pro. So if you understand the derivation, you will remember those rules. Okay. So again, so just a recap of those rules. Constant rule means always the constant will give you the derivative as 0, and power rule is x power n into x power n minus 1, and then constant multiple rule is c into a. That is constant you can bring outside. Simply you differentiate that function. Then sum and difference. So u plus or minus v means you can differentiate separately. Du by dx plus or minus dv by dx. Whereas for the product you cannot do it like that. So you have to keep one function constant, differentiate the next function, multiply, and then keep the other function constant, differentiate the first function, multiply, and then add these two terms. Then of course quotient rule, as we have seen, it is low into derivative of I minus I into derivative of low divided by the square of the below. Okay. So now I want to give you some problems for practice. So the screen will be open, and simultaneously you can ask questions. If you have any doubts, you can ask the doubts. Yeah, Chidambaram, you are asking what is maximum. See, now suppose if you take of one function, you can split into many intervals. Okay. But for each interval, you can find maximum and minimum point. That is, maximum is singular. Maxima and minima is plural. Okay. So maximum for a small interval, local there will be local maximum and local minimum point. So like this, a function is split into several intervals, and you can find many local maxima and minima. So for each interval, yeah, it is singular and plural. But when you want to find out what is the maximum point for the whole function, there is a method. That is, you have to find out the first derivative, then equate it to 0, then find the value of x, then find the second derivative. If it is second derivative becomes negative at that particular point, what you have found out with the help of first derivative putting equal to 0, at that point, if it is less than 0, f of x will be maximum at that point. If it is greater than 0, f of x will be minimum at that point. That is, maximum and minimum, it is only one. Maxima and minima, there are many. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other doubts? So there are next screen also there are problems. So you just copy these problems and send me the answers to my mail ID. I will definitely correct it and send it back to you with comments. If you want more problems or more any other assignments or any other doubt, you are always welcome to ask in my mail ID. Okay, shall I go to the next screen? So there are 15 problems. Please do practice all these problems because you will gain confidence. So this two days course, I hope you will have a better understanding. First of all, you have to learn everything deeply. That is, as the Tirukural goes, Tottanai Thoorum Manarkeni, Mandarku Katranai Thoorum Arivu. So that is, when you dig deep into the well, water will come. As much depth you are going, so much amount of water you can get. So that is why even mathematics, not only mathematics, all the subjects are like that. So when you go deep into the subjects, see, you have to work, think, then you can extract many things and you can even invent. Because now this time, only the younger generation, the world needs the brain of the younger generation. So you have to be empowered. Only knowledge is power. So please think, understand that knowledge is power. So you have to study well, and mathematics trains your brain because of its abstractness. So since it is abstract, see, for physics, chemistry, you can visualize in the lab. Everything you can visualize. But mathematics, the visualization becomes very, very tough for some statement. So the definition also, it becomes very tough if we cannot visualize. So we have to, only our brain has to visualize. It has to visualize, it has to imagine on your own way. See, each one will have, see, derivative means I will have something in my mind, some picture. So you will have some picture. The understanding must be the same. You can have a different picture, but understanding must be the same. So that is why you have to go in depth in mathematics. Then you will become future very efficient engineer or scientist, pilot, anybody you want, you can. Okay. So up to +2, you have to study mathematics very deeply and very interestingly. Is it clear? Okay. So now any doubts? So when exam comes, actually we are like this, isn't it? So what you have studied? Nothing. So I don't know nothing because of the rote learning. So this should not be the case for today's participants because you have understood what is differential calculus. Is it not? Can I take that you have understood? Yeah, practice problems. I will show it once again. Principal ma'am. Ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Anything else, ma'am?
That's all, ma'am. Thanks for your wonderful session, ma'am.
Okay.
So participants, I have sent you the assessment link and also the attendance form for today's class. So I request all of you to fill up the assessment as well as the attendance form for today. So yesterday's attendance form also has been sent to you. So please fill up all those details and you will be eligible for an e-certificate. And one more thing is you have any feedback, participants, before we end the session?
Something you want to tell? You want
Any
to say?
feedback? Because we have planned it for 5 weekends, that is Saturday,
Yeah.
Sundays. So if you have any feedback, you can share your feedback one by one.
Yeah, so I just want to know what the section, what kind of program.
Yeah, you want to say something one by one. You can say whether it was helpful or something you want to suggest also. I will take your suggestion. Yes, students, how was the session? Okay, you can give this. Good. Thank you, Chidambaram. Adan, thank you, Adan. So no doubt you have. So
any questions, ma?
Yeah.
Any questions, students?
So only 2 people will not have any doubts. 2 types of people. Who are they? So the person who didn't understand anything will not have any doubt. Who have understood everything will not have any doubt. So I wish everybody will fall in the second category. Is that so?
Principal, ma'am, do you have anything to share, ma'am?
Ma'am, one more thing, the participants, if you found this webinar useful to you, then I suggest that you invite your friends as well for the next one on integration. Because this time can be utilized properly. You can refresh what you have studied earlier, and this would be useful for our engineering studies as well. So I invite all the participants to invite their friends for the next webinar on next Saturday and Sunday on integration, integral calculus.
Ma'am, I think Sudhakaran is having a question.
Yeah. Yes.
Assessment problem, what we have shared, the third question is not clear, it seems.
So f of x is equal to x plus 1?
No, in the assessment, ma'am.
Assessment. Oh,
you can send a mail to Tamil Selvi ma'am's mail ID, Sudhakaran.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be better.
Oh, yesterday's assessment, huh?
No, whatever assessments, Google form we shared.
Google form we shared.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I don't remember those questions. See, you just mail me. I will send you that question again. Okay, Yoshua,
anything?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, students?
Not only mathematics, the thing is engineering requires physics, mathematics and basic knowledge of electronics, all these things are. So mathematics and physics are most important for engineering. If you have any queries, you can feel free to contact ACE event. If you do post your questions, some of our professors will answer you back. And one more thing is what we want is if you want to join our college, if you have any queries on that also, you can send it to our college website. In our college website, we have got the admission link. So there you can enter and you can see whatever is available. And if you are interested in joining, you can fill up the admission form online as well. So you are all invited to join Alpha. It would be a wonderful experience. I invite you all to join Alpha. And tell your friends also, whatever you have learned from here. If it is useful, you ask them to come for next integral calculus class. And this is a 5-week webinar session. So every week we will be covering one topic. Ma'am, Tamilselvi ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell them the
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Actually, next the following week will be your integral calculus, and the following that week will be algebra and trigonometry, and the next sequence and series, and the last one we will conclude with the complex numbers. So everything, all these topics are very, very essential for engineering study. Those who are engineering aspirants, not only those who are engineering aspirants, whoever is going to want to join an arts college also can attend. So these are all basic things, and see, we find that students doesn't understand the fundamental when they come to the college. So especially mathematics teachers find it very difficult that they lack in the fundamentals, that is fundamental understanding. See, everybody wants to have a rote learning for mathematics also, but which is not at all helpful. So please stop by hearting your formulae and see, without a proof. So once if you try to prove whatever you studied, then only always ask question why not, if it is like this, when it has happened, and the history of everything. See, all the definitions, all the field in the mathematics came only when real life problems appear. Okay, each mathematician and each scientist, they discovered, they invented, everybody struggled. So that is how each and everything was invented. Everything was invented only by human being. So you also can invent like this something, because in the growing technology, you have to compete yourself. So for that, you need to study in depth. Only in depth knowledge will have. Don't just study widely. That is something here, very few things from there like that. Don't study at the point, examination point of view. Okay.
Actually, the
Yes,
assessment number 3 is not clear, ma'am. The X value is not given.
X values is not given, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
No problem. You can attend the other questions and submit the assessment. That is not a problem. We will share you once again the question. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But these assignment questions you can, these are clear, no? So this you can answer and send it to me. Okay.
Okay.
Kirtana, actually, I am yet to correct all your assignments, ma. Actually, many of you have submitted the assignments. So I will correct and send it to you back by today. By today or tomorrow, I will definitely send it to you and I will contact you. Okay. So whoever has submitted the assignment, definitely you will get it back after my correction.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, and Chidambaram is having a, he wants a session on complex numbers.
That is what, ma'am. That is the last session, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we are going to conduct, ma'am.
Yeah, yes.
Yes,
ma'am. Is there anything else that you want to discuss?
Ma'am, the students can suggest some other topic they are interested in.
Yes.
It will not be restricted to all these 5 topics in mathematics. Any other topic, if you are interested, you can feel free to suggest. We will give you a webinar on that as well. And even on physics and chemistry, if you want some of the doubts being cleared, then you can suggest that as well. And we want a feedback, if will it be useful to someone who are from Tamil medium to keep a webinar on learning English. That also is welcome. You can give your suggestions in the feedback form. Ma'am, Sujata ma'am, you are sharing the feedback form.
Yes, ma'am, I have shared.
Yes.
Organic chemistry.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything else, guys? Do you have anything else to be shared? Like any questions? Okay, I'm noting down whatever you're typing in the chat box. Okay, so and we'll be planning the further sessions based on your feedback. Is there anybody who wants to share the feedback? You can raise your hand, unmute yourself, and share the feedback if you want. Any queries or feedback, students?
Yeah, vectors and 3D geometry. Ma'am, somebody is asking vectors and 3D geometry.
I'm jotting down all the topics,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay,
what
okay.
they are doing, asking.
Trigonometry session is there.
Yeah.
Trigonometry, there is a session on Sangeeta. There is a session on trigonometry. That would be the next week session, trigonometry and algebra.
So vectors and 3D geometry, we have not yet planned, but let us see.
Ma'am, they want the PPT to be shared to their mail ID.
Okay.
Anything else, ma'am, you require from us? Is there anything else, students, you want to discuss, or we can wind up the session for today? Okay, students, as I think you don't have any further queries, we can wind up the session. Yeah, I take this opportunity to thank our management, principal, who have been the driving force for this webinar series on mathematics. Next, I would like to thank Professor and Head of Department Mathematics, Tamilselvi ma'am, who has taken a lot of time amidst her busy schedule to prepare and deliver such a very wonderful session to us. Last but not the least, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the participants who have made this session very, very interactive. I request all the participants to share about the forthcoming webinar series through mail and WhatsApp to your friends also. We would expect more number of participants next time. You can also share your feedback to our mail ID, aceevent@alphagroup.edu, from which you have received mails regarding the assessment, attendance form, everything. If you have anything else you want to discuss in through mail or phone as well, we are available through mail as well as phone. I think you must be having Tamilselvi ma'am's number as well, from which you receive WhatsApp. You can contact madam for anything. Thank you, students. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.